When last we left our heroes, the five of them are sitting upon the dining room table floor of a large tavern, the Gilded Pegasus, that they have found their most recent abode in the city of Pella, the capital of the Kingdom of Alexandria, a land far to the north on the continent of Winthrow. The five of you have had a rough evening, mostly just trying to collect your thoughts after coming face to face once again with the Dark-Eyed Prince, one of the renowned warlords said to be dead about 30 years ago almost at this point. However, couldn't look any younger. The five of you are mostly just finding your way through the city of your own accord, traveling here or there, and trying to find your way, mostly accomplish some odd jobs before you press onwards to Cape Solman, even further to the north, where you hope to find some archaeological dig that might point you in a direction that answers what your glyphs are that you've been branded with during that tragic accident, totally, that destroyed Mount Orion and Fort Delahan to the east of here. We are going to start real quick because we don't have a lot of time with Valerie. Valerie is just gonna, what do you do, Valerie? Everyone's at the center. You finish your breakfasts and you all prepare for the morning.
We in the bottom floor of the tavern right now?
Yep.
Right. Valerie, with her new duds acquired from Liam very early in the morning, finishes up her food very quickly, and stands up to leave. She's taking her weapons and her bags with her and everything, and she goes out a little further past the inn that they're staying at, and she, keeping the weight for the swords, she puts a weight at the end of a long curved longsword that she acquired from one of the Dragonborn, and she begins to go through her poses.
The training montage begins. What do the three of you else do? Brookhilde asleep in her eggs, syrup dripping down her beard. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning.
I jostle a little.
That's... What?
Do you need a cup of coffee? Tea?
I need sleep. But coffee could help. She slept all of 3 hours and she spent all night partying. She came back at 5 a.m.
I motioned to the barkeep to get us a cup of tea and a cup of coffee.
Brookhilde got home at the hour that Valerie left.
I will say, cup of coffee runs you a gold piece.
Yeah,
a cup of coffee costs a gold.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
dude.
Coffee beans are a foreign.
You live in the modern world, but coffee is not only rare; it's extremely expensive.
Coffee.
So he just looks at the price, and she's like,
"The dwarf man kind of. I can give you some tea instead if you want, but it's gonna run you a gold. Gotta ship that up from south of Winthrow."
No. Take the gold.
Takes the gold,
and
he bites it.
Gold.
It's a whole process. He gets out like a French press. It's a full blown. It's like the Turkish coffee where he presses it through the sand and instantly boils the water. It's a process. But yeah, he gets you a tea and coffee and.
How much is the tea? Or
tea's on the
is
house.
It
tea's a part of the.
Okay.
You walk into the hotel room and there's a little, the moist towelettes and the mint, and then there's the cup of tea. And yeah, they give you but the coffee is exquisite. Pours it directly on Brookhilde's face. No.
Oh God.
She hooks it up on an IV.
It's the good stuff. Umber stands up from the table. Gives Azarina and Valerie a fist bump on the way out, but says her goodbyes, and so she's got a few things to do. She wants to do some research on where the Dark Rider is, and she'll get back to you guys probably by the end of the day.
Fair enough.
So what is our what exactly is our plan at this point?
Well, in hopes that we do not break into a prison, immediately tarnishing our relationship with Flame Knights, I was hoping that at least the 3, or if not all 4 of us, can go to Crispin and don't like the word plead, but basically argue Carl's innocence.
He'll wakes up in a fucking start because Gareth was wrong about something.
The dwarf man behind the image has been like quietly cleaning a cup, staring at Brookehill. Like every time she makes a noise, he like jumps like he's surprised.
Argue his innocence. This is what she takes out a little like paper from like her. This is what's going to happen. Does anybody have a quote?
Yes. And he hands you like a thin piece of graphite.
Excellent. Here's what we're going to do. First, we need to know what he is accused of. We cannot plead a man's innocence if we do not know for which crime he stands accused.
Well,
Sip of coffee. Second sip of coffee because it didn't hit right.
It's exquisite. Not as fine as you're used to, but it'll pass.
Then, once this is established, we are going to search any historical record we can access of people having been... I don't know the term for that. Exonerated of their crimes? Is that...
Exonerated, acquitted.
Acquitted from those crimes.
Yes.
This will help us establish a further plan to put forward the proper defense. For I assume that they simply do not release prisoners here in Alexandria, and we will have to represent... Oh, what wonderful coffee. Represent the poor fool in court.
Is there any way that we could, worst case scenario, do, like, at least get him out of jail, but maybe he does, like, we argue community service, or he has to pay a fine, or...
Indeed, but this answer will come depending on...
That's more of a best case scenario than worst case.
Worst case scenario, Buster Jane's plan is not without its own benefits for us. For she did not, in fact, suggest that we break into a prison and break her brother out. That is incorrect.
She threatened to bust in there.
She suggested to fake a prison riot, and that we, as honorable heroes of the people of Alexandria, should intervene, and in our human imperfection, she visibly like winces saying that, because of course she's perfect, unfortunately let one recent prisoner escape.
Well,
she even offered to take the fall, just to also throw it out there.
But then we'd be in the...
No,
I know she said that she wanted to take the fall, but at the same time, if she gets caught, we're going to be in the exact same situation with
not exactly.
Carl.
No.
I don't know. Yeah, absolutely.
Jane is fine on her own.
Oh, she didn't say she'd get caught.
Oh.
She just said she'd take the blame.
I would prefer not to fake a prison break, because
would I.
Especially since if we're trying the diplomacy method and going through this the legal rate, and that fails, and all of a sudden there's a prison break and Carl is out, automatically fingers are going to be pointing at us.
Of course, but we can arrange that. Plus, I'm an excellent lawyer. Our plans will never fail.
You may be a great liar, but I am not.
Well, that is
we don't need multiple lawyers, honey. You just need to be a witness.
Exactly.
So do you.
And I.
Brookehill points at Garrett. She's just like, you two, don't run away.
Brookehill and I shall be most likely leading the case. Brookehill will be leading the case, and I will be next up with that. All that really we need you to be able to do is because we will be speaking with Lord Crispin, and you might be able to help influence some of his decisions if last night was anything to
You're not supposed to say that out loud.
Garrett just looks at her tiredly. Like he's not here to beat around the bush.
She throws her graphite thing at his face.
Valerie only just now returns indoors, sweating, hoisting her sword over her shoulder.
I am
And just
many
sit down.
things. I am many things, but a
Married is not one of
Keep-
them.
people user is not one of them.
It's
Oh,
not,
we're not
it's
using
asking
him.
for a favor, just like any other close friend would ask.
See, he's learning. He'll pat Garen on the shoulder,
I-
condescendingly.
I will do what I can, but I will not make him do anything that he wouldn't already do.
It appears these two are conspiring again, so I'll just keep my mouth shut, assuming we have a solid plan.
We do. Wonderful.
Where,
Great to
where
have your
did you-
trust.
Outside,
Where did you
horses
go?
and wagons continue to squeak, and you can sense the day is starting to begin in more earnest. Valerie looks swole as fuck.
Where did you run off to?
I was just doing some morning exercise is all.
Ugh, morning exercise. You people are weird.
Valerie, can I get a charisma saving throw from you, please, by the way?
Charisma saving throw.
Yeah, I want while you were training, this happened. So obviously you don't die, so don't get too worried.
You die of embarrassment if you fail your
I
charisma
have
saving
I have
throw.
embarrassment. You go outside, you train, you feel, you work, you're doing your best, but you can't help but feel like there's something holding you back. There's some small barrier.
Valerie just like squints at like a corner in the room.
I would, Valerie, I would probably, clean up so that we can all get going out today.
Right. Give me a minute.
All right, the four of you clean yourselves up, finish breakfast, get your IV of coffee taken care of, and then slowly pack yourselves away. Gala, by the way, your gala stuff, I guess you still own? So I assume you just pack that up. Everybody make sure you have one set of fine clothes in your inventory. Just search that up in D&D Beyond's compendium and slap that bad boy into your inventory.
How is it like? Is it still 10 pounds or is it more than that?
It's whatever fine clothes are.
Okay.
Well, you may lack in fabric, you make up for in jewelry weight. So it's just part of an
Oh,
ensemble.
it's only 6 pounds.
Okay, I didn't think it was super expensive or super heavy. But yeah, just make sure you all have that in your inventory, just because we do track inventory space in this game, and it might come in handy someday. The four of you, Umber has disappeared for the time being, but you know that she's safe and sound somewhere in the city, are free to go where as you please. Where to first?
I mean, do we just go to where he's being held first, or do we see Crispin first, or?
We were, in fact, told we only have 2 days.
That is true.
Dawn of the second day.
I'm letting Brughild take the lead on this.
Brookhill is BRB for right now.
Well, fuck. She did say that we needed to learn, so most likely we need to check records and such.
All right, roll an investigation check for me. Well, actually, I was gonna say Brookhill isn't here to do the good roll, but I don't think she's actually good at investigation anyway. So someone has to make an investigation check for me.
I mean,
How good is my
Uh,
investigation?
I have one in investigation.
I have 0.
0. Alright, better.
I also have a 1.
Okay, it sounds like it's
What
just a
was
50-50.
Brughild's?
I'll double check for her, and then I'll roll for her if it's
Better than 1.
it's better than it. What a merit to. Oh wow, yeah, she. Oh, she's not insulted.
Yeah, she does have the best fucking roll.
She does,
Yep.
yeah. Oh, I didn't realize. I didn't realize that she was so smart. But yeah, no, she's investigative, and she kind of knows where to find the public records office, and a lot of this stuff is kind
Oh,
of.
sorry, was that me? I'm here.
Yeah, you rolled a 17. Good job.
You're level 17. Great job.
Yeah, I do actually have a pretty good investigation roll.
I was
Great.
I was
I'm
surprised.
smart.
I was surprised.
What do you mean you're surprised?
I didn't
That's
think you were
great.
proficient in investigation.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it comes in handy. You are able to navigate and find the records office. You don't have to go all the way up to the prison. You're sure that they have it at the prison. Like, of course they would, but you're hoping that they might have a copy somewhere. So you go to the local public records office, and it's like the constable. You want to go to. There's the two different bodies of guard, and it's the royal guard and the royal offices, and then there's a local place which is the constable. And then with the 17
Indeed.
investigation, you can find both, but now roll an insight check to figure out what you're actually trying to find. So I need somebody to do an insight check.
What's
I
my
don't have
insight?
very good insight.
Maybe I can salvage this one.
With a 17,
I-
you can you'd have to brute force. It might take you all day to find what
I
you're
have
looking
I have
for.
a 1 in insight.
Me
I have a
too.
2.
Oh yeah, roll it up, Azarine. Roll it up.
All right.
Hell yeah! Woo!
Wow.
With an 8, at the very least, you kind of figure well, he was arrested for attacking a prince, so it's probably like a royal crime. So you want to go to the royal
Mhm.
offices?
I would have thought the same. So
That's good then, because with an 8
That's all we
investigation,
get.
you're kind of limited to your own. From this point on, you're kind of on your own common sense and logic. You find the offices with Brokil's help. You have navigated bureaucracy before, and with an 8 Azarine, you do the best that you can and kind of talk your way into the office. It's a public building. You're kind of on your own. You walk up front to the front desk, and a lady welcomes you in. It's simultaneously part of a library, like in the public sense, as well as it's a office keeping, who's marrying who, a lot of land deeds, since this is the royal
civil records.
civil records.
I guess.
Yeah.
Well, wedding. Well, I guess they are civil weddings.
Well, it's only for the nobles and stuff. That's the other thing
Oh,
that
I
you
see.
notice is that here's
Yeah,
it's the
yeah,
royal.
normal people.
Yeah, the normal people, the ones that matter. And you want the carpets are all fine and dandy, and there's wonderful curtains. Things are actually well organized in here. But you have to now find the proper offices. You would navigate through the walkthrough, and well, it's kind of interrupt me if you want to. Otherwise, I'm just going to assume that you guys are kind of all generally searching with a general investigation. But if you're doing something specific, let me know now.
Mhm.
I mean, we're looking for crimes around that time, and since it involves the prince, it's probably important. That's
Are you
about
guys
all we have.
are you guys trying to kind of keep this on the down low? Should I ask for a stealth?
Brooklyn's not acting.
stealthy. I'm just going through papers. No, I'm
Yeah.
not stealthy.
Okay, sure, good to know.
I'm not saying where's the crimes against the prince. I'm not doing that. But I mean,
Okay, fair.
I'm not stealthing.
Everybody who is searching, please roll an investigation check for me.
All right.
Excellent. Valorant. We'll come back to Valorant. Valorant ends up in the kids section.
My shoulder really hurt.
Shoulder really hurts.
Where are your mangas?
She's learning about birds in the back of the. Azarine and Gareth. Okay, yeah, between the two of you, I think Bodo killed. I don't think she doesn't do bad. She's looking through a billion other records, and Azarine and Gareth just get lucky, and they go over to the back room and they find actually that there's a section of this library that's locked. And you look through, and there's several windows, and it's clear that people come here relatively often, and it's just a standard lock that keeps it shut. And on the other side is row after row of what appears to be log books, and you kind of wager it's criminal records, and especially the ones related into noble crimes against nobles and the royal family and what have you. It's a little bit under lock and key. You don't find anybody immediately watching it. There's no guard, but it's in a locked room.
Dwarf.
Okay.
Yes.
We found the crimes, the noble crimes area. It is under lock. It's locked up.
Of course it would be. Is there anybody here that I can talk to
Oh, you could flag somebody down who works here. You can a clerk.
Yeah. I'm gonna she's
I'm
gonna
let her
snap.
do that.
Okay. Yeah. You find a tall elf woman who is willing to. Yes. How may I assist you?
Hello. We are investigating a peculiar accident that has happened. I wouldn't know how long ago. Brooke would know how long ago, but
Sure.
X days ago on
Few
that
days.
date. You know the date.
Yeah.
On a train on the way from the city of Pella. No, wait, we're in Pella. No.
It was from the wall.
Whatever.
Yeah, you
Right.
give her the right.
That,
You give her the right
you know.
details. That's no
Technically,
quiz.
it was on the way to Pella. I didn't take the train. I took a donkey here.
So you did a plague donkey, if you will. I see.
And seeing as, of course, multiple goods have been lost during the incident, many pardon me, there has been many questions about certain accusations and certain people responsible. I have been hired. Sorry, we have been hired to defend certain
Let's see. Well, yeah, I must understand. I believe you're referring to the train robbery, if that's the incident that you're.
Indeed.
Many things were lost that time. I'm afraid each family that lost property is. Some are more secretive than others. More public records are available up front about some of the items that were in the train that were government property, but privacy is it's a fickle thing for the nobles here. They much demanded. Can you tell me what house you are working for?
Indeed, I have been hired by a house. Who were those people who told me about their stuff they lost at the party? I forgot the name.
Now it's a quiz.
Fuck. You can't ask me to remember things. I don't know. I don't even know what I did yesterday.
I know. Sorry. I believe in you. You can roll a history check, and maybe Rico remembers.
Of course you'd remember. It was like yesterday.
That's the only. Listen, she got fucking sloshed afterwards.
You did indeed.
Whoa!
Yes. Oh my god!
I know them. I know their family history. I know their dog.
You sold them their fucking house 30
I saw-
fucking years ago. They were the man was Mirren Duskstone of Duskstone Manor. Duskstone.
Indeed,
Keep.
I have been sent here by Mirren Duskstone of House Duskstone.
Roll a deception check with advantage because you actually dropped the name and you thought about that and carried that forward, and that's sick as hell. So.
That's fine.
12? Yeah, she seems to kind of go, okay, well, I will let you see some of the records involving the Duskstones. If you don't mind, follow me.
Indeed.
She goes to the back area and she does pull out some keys and unlocks the big
Can't
door.
ask me to remember things.
Oh, that's all right. So they've got the history for. Sometimes our characters are able to remember
Did I write
some
it
stuff.
anywhere?
Oh. Sorry. You gave Brookhilde a
Actually-
4 in history, which is fucking really good. So maybe she can
Yes,
remember most stuff for you. It's fine.
She sold them half of those artifacts that they
So
lost.
it's a distinct possibility. In fact, the answer is probably yes. But yeah, she lets you and you alone into this room, and then she kind of stands there. The desk
Do I have
stands,
like? Does she give me the specific like?
Oh, she walks over to she kind of turns around and makes sure that nobody else is around, and then she walks over to the far wall and starts leafing through, and she pulls a large log book off of the wall and sits it down on the nearest table. There's only like 2 or 3 tables in here with a few lamps, and she lights one of the lamps really quickly. And a few others as well, just to kind of give her something to do. And she kind of leaves through some of the pages and kind of just hands the book off to you in general. I'm not going to make you roll or anything. You can navigate a book. So you find a list of all the stuff that the Duskstones lost during the train heist. It seems to be like a ledger, which involves several old artifacts, including supposedly, and I'm going to DM this to you. I don't know if it's a secret or not, but I'm going to DM it to you.
Okay. However, that's not actually what I'm looking for, and I lied. So
I know, the Tangled Web.
Yeah, but you also get this knowledge.
You do also get
Congratulations.
this knowledge. You do also get this
Indeed.
knowledge. But it is a Tangled Web you lead.
so I can weave myself out of this. Brookhilde may be very different from me in terms of personality, but I'm not. I am not unknown to be a good manipulator and liar myself. I can figure that shit out. I already have my excuse.
Mostly a bunch of other things that are artifacts from ancient bygone eras, including that as well. She's kind of She's just kind of watching you now, though. She's just kind of like she's not like scrutinizing, but she's kind of
Yeah.
like supervising. She dusts a few lamps while she's here. She rearranges some books.
I'm gonna start leafing through. Is that the record of like the accident in general, or is that just House Duststone stuff?
It's mostly just House Duskstone's stuff, but as you kind of leaf through, you realize that this is kind of like just a general police report, and you think there are
Okay.
other things in there. It's just that you might notice if you flip the pages and start trying to read the other stuff.
Yeah,
but
no,
maybe-
I'm ready. I'm
Maybe
gonna
you can slide
act
of
like I'm
hand it.
supposed to be doing this, because that's the best stealth.
Give me a either a deception check, a stealth check, or a performance check. And which is, I'm assuming you are like, I'm just going to be leafing through the book like I know what I'm doing, but what I'm trying to do is search for. Okay.
Indeed. I'm not rolling very good today. except for that 24.
What's a 12? Maybe she won't roll very well in her turn.
You lick your thumb, but you wet the paper too much, and you start
She,
panicking.
she gets a 4. She doesn't seem to notice that. You kind of like flip through real quick and you look, you pull out a piece of notebook and start writing down gibberish. You're like,
Yeah.
You put on your glasses, It's Gareth's glasses you stole from him.
Garrett's glasses on.
They're too big for you. They're like 4 times the size of you. No, you look through and yeah, you can see that the police report also talks about several individuals that were part of this cult or group of brigands that seems to ally themselves with the Dark Rider Walter, who has been wanted for several things, and it mostly amounts to banditry. Among the list was someone who committed necromancy, which is a very high crime, at least in Alexandria, and also by association is for attempted assassination of the prince. Or in
Walter's wanted for that?
Walter is... he is.
He's
the
considered
man,
like the boss, right?
He's considered the boss. The one in question that was the necromancer, the one that they
was the one that Garrett
was the one that
killed
Garrett
Yeah.
sliced in half. Yeah. So
Yeah,
he's-
it was a Baroque. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
remember.
guess what? They're also throwing the book at Walter. Like any crime that was committed on the train, they're also just charging him
I mean,
with.
makes sense,
Yeah.
but what about...
He's charged for assisting in the attempted assassination of Prince Alexandros.
Is that the only one? Is that the only charge on him?
Seems to be the only charge. I mean, besides also assault on royal guard.
Attempted assassination.
I mean, he didn't fight any royal guard before
He fought.
Garrett got there.
He did. He was fighting before we got
He
here.
was-
actually knocked it
He was
all to
doing
the
some
floor.
Yeah, he also did like a big seismic slam thing that like shook the whole train and knocked
right,
it out of
okay.
the ground, and that was. But when
All I
people
remember
started,
is I got bloodlust and then Carl got scared and did nothing.
yes, that is what happened. But yeah, he was part of the fighting. He's not charged with murder. He is not charged with maiming or hurting, but he is charged with assault of royal guard officers and assisting in the attempted assassination of Prince Alexandros.
Does Alexandria have the capital penalty? Does Alexandria have death penalty?
Does Alexandria have death penalty?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's in prison,
Yeah,
but
they do.
what's his
They
actual
have death penalties. This book doesn't. You think that
No,
that
I'm just
information
asking-
somewhere
I'm just
around
asking
here
like
is
that.
just not in that book.
I'm just asking like that because Brugeld assumes. Okay, these are private records, so she's checking this, and then if she needs any generic law information, there's no reason for that to be under lock and key. Anybody should be allowed to know the law. Like,
Yeah, to be honest with you, I just have to kind of think of.
indeed, I'm giving you time. I'm just telling you in advance.
Yeah, they're technically it's on the books, but the last people that were given the death penalty for was actually during the Alexandrian Civil War, which was fought about 2 decades prior, a little before this. Mostly it's reserved for like traitors to the crown.
Indeed. So was attempting to assassinate the prince.
Maybe. Brookhill will know it's more like, ironically, the main charge was treachery.
Indeed.
The murder part was secondary.
Okay. All right. I think that's all I need. She's gonna keep snooping around to see if she can find any other like good nuggets of stuff. Because
Well, why don't you give me a
she's
perception
nosy.
She's a nosy bitch, and I understand that and respect it.
She's a nosy bitch. Perception. Nope. Guess not.
There's plenty of stuff around, but it's hard to narrow in like what would actually be
Boring
useful.
and thick legalese.
Yeah, it's a lot of thick legalese. I mean, you look through the book and you kind of find the names of some of the people that were on there, and you see a lot of like what was on a lot of money was on that train, and like little raw jewels and some. There's actually equipment. There was mining equipment that was originally going to be used for archaeology that was bound for Cape Solomon to help with an archaeological dig. And that was also stolen as well. But that's kind of like the only real interesting stuff. They're like, oh, that's interesting. Everything else was like power supplies and fuel, essentially. Crystallized aether, a lot of firebrand aether, which is just a low-level combustion, essentially.
It's not necessarily uninteresting if you take into account that Walter is now in possession of those goods.
Possibly.
Because he was on that cargo bit of train. I don't know names for trains. I don't know words for trains. I'm stupid.
The caboose?
The caboose, yes.
I understand.
I'm an artist. I don't know trains.
That's all you can grab, though. Do you regroup with your friends?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, she's gonna like fake like scribbling some stuff and like she's gonna actually make a list of like stuff that was stolen from House Duststone, just so that if anything happens, she can be like, I have this. This is what I noted. Blah blah.
You make some extra credentials for yourself and place the book back on the shelf. You're gently guided back out, really, and the doors relocked again. You are left to your own devices, and they bow softly and return back to their cataloging.
I'm going to rejoin my friends and share with them the information I have acquired.
All right, you're all caught up.
Excellent. Well, the fact that our main point of contention is arguing away that assistance charge, I think we might be in a very good place to get him off relatively, well.
I would wager more severely on trading his freedom for information about Walter's whereabouts.
That, of course, as well, yes.
Quite.
But I'm just saying.
Not necessarily being charged with something minor.
No, but nothing a hefty bail can't fix, right?
That's true. A lot of things can be solved with money. It's just a question of do you have enough? In fact,
I
I
don't
don't think there's anything that
necessarily
can't be
have
solved.
enough, but I'm
I
so
might have
evil.
enough.
Oh no.
Rickle's on a power trip right now. No, but see, I can make money because I have information now that I can use to blackmail certain people.
Oh no.
I did not hear that. And
No,
we
I
should
didn't say that
probably
out
go
loud.
and speak to Crispin now.
No, she didn't say that out loud.
Understandable.
I'm just thinking about
The
it. I'm
evil
just like,
voice in her head says
I
it
mean-
very loudly.
I mean, even if she did, Gareth will literally say out loud, I did not hear that. We should get going.
Oh, here are your glasses. Thank you.
They didn't
He
fit, by
takes
the
it
way.
and just pockets it.
All right, so to Crispin's, huh?
Aye.
All right, Azarine, I think you'll lead the party on this one.
Actually, this is a library, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I borrow a couple of law books before I go?
Sure.
Libraries are for borrowing books.
This is true, but this is the Noble Royal Library, and I'm
Do I
afraid-
not look like a royal noble?
Ooh, once again, roll performance. The question is, do you look like a local royal noble?
Well, I'm wearing my other
That's-
set. Oh, no, I guess not.
Ooh.
Oh, listen, they just go like, oh yeah, sure, but there's a fee.
Of course, there's a fee.
It's
How
5
much?
gold.
Yeah, sure. I'll pay 5 gold.
They take the 5
I grab
gold.
myself a book.
Is it more of like a we keep this 5 gold until you return the books, or is it like a we keep the 5 gold regardless?
It looks like it's it looks like it's a tax for foreigners. It seems like this is a if you lived around here and you were a local noble, then we give you anything you want, but you might be
Yeah.
here for we're just trying to squeeze you. They don't really care what happens to the book, frankly. They can just buy another. This is
It's
a
fine,
rich
I'll never
library.
mind. I might not give it back, but I don't mind.
But you guys head over to the Crispins, Azarine. I think that this is a bit of a longer jaunt. It's either going to take a lot of the day, or it's going to be a cost in terms of hiring a carriage or something like that. Do you guys want to pay the way? and
Hire
save
that
some
one
time?
old Kevin again?
Oh, don't spoil that.
I don't mind paying for a fare, taxi fare,
Yeah.
carriage fare.
Brooke just gives Azarine she just hands her 3 gold, and she's just just figure something out because she's knows in a book now. You can't talk to her
Ah.
anymore.
Thanks. I guess I flagged down a.
Do you want
Carriage.
do you want fast? Do you want the fastest possible, just like that one time you guys were heading home from?
Or Kevin,
Sure.
or Kevin.
Sure.
Alright, it's a little expensive, you remember, but yeah, you head back out and you kind of look around and you're like, well, I know that one guy, and start trying to flag things down, and you got some money, and sure enough, there's this big, brawny Gorkeven he's wearing just a muscle shirt and some nice short leather
Uh-huh.
pants, and he turns around and he sees you and he goes, ah, it's that lady, and he comes in approaching over and he goes, well, ain't that just a little bit of a son of a bitch? And he turns his way and he looks directly at Gareth.
Wait, why? What?
Do you know this man?
Do I know this man?
Oh, you know this man. He stares at you. He looks. You can see he's got big tusks, and he comes storming towards you. The ground shaking underfoot. He's not as tall as Gareth, but he's about twice as wide. And he walks on over, and you can see this look of pure energy in his eyes. And he approaches close and just goes, Motherfucker. And he grabs you by the arm and he shakes it firmly.
I literally do not like.
That's all right.
Am I missing anything, or you know what?
What you're missing is when this character first showed up, you said you knew him.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, you did.
You said you knew. You say you're like, oh yeah, Gumner. I remember Gumner. He had the horns. You told me you knew him, but he comes walking right up to you, and he claps your fucking hand and shakes it. And it's like that one scene from Predator.
Well, if Garrett knows, then Garrett, accepts that handshake and he kind of cracks a smile. I see you are. I hope you are getting good work these past few days.
Oh, business is booming, my boy. I haven't seen you since the incident.
Motherfucker. Well, I mean, you look way better since then.
I'm working on it. She slaps his stomach and it kind of jiggles a little bit, but it's just a little. And it goes, since I got my debt paid off with your dear old pops.
Okay, now I know you're lying. Gray,
Mm-hmm.
You can't even say that. You can't. If we're playing it straight, you can't say that.
He's not referring to your literal pops.
Oh, right. Oh, no, right. I was like, time out, Gray. You remember?
He's fucking with you. He makes fun of the fact he's called your pops.
Oh, well, I mean, commander as his commander does, but I'm just glad that I was able to get him to let you off with just, that's fine.
Oh, it could be a bit easier, but I'm glad he could help me out, but at the very least, how you been doing? I know that the fort, I heard bad things, but I thought you didn't walk out of there.
I mean, I didn't technically. I floated unconsciously.
Whoa!
Stroke of luck that I made it out.
That's rough. I'm glad to see you safe. It's good to see people like us doing well in the world, doing what they can to make ends meet.
Of course. I mean, I'm doing the same. I haven't been able to rejoin with my group, but making ends meet. I just helped out with the siege that happened a few days ago, of course.
Oh, I heard about that. You were there, huh? Rousing stuff. Oh, if I was a few years younger, you could bet I'd be right there smacking her right there, taking the dragonborn to task like the rest of them.
And what of course you would have been, my friend.
Oh, better days. Now I just run the carts. Anyway, why you come over here? Yeah, you with this girl? She's a good paying customer.
She's a friend of mine, yes.
Well, that's good. All right, where are you off to? I suppose I shouldn't take too much of your time. You pay for the fastest service. I'm here to provide.
Garrett kind of motions towards Azarine because, it's your thing.
The Keys estate, if you will.
Keys estate, huh? Well, yeah, sure, we can get you there in under the afternoon. All right, pile on all aboard. Gareth, hope you've been slimming down a little bit.
Well, all this travel.
You mean you can't run pace with him? You can't.
Don't. Don't. I'm in armor. Don't.
Do it.
I know you're wearing armor, but can you peck pop, Gareth?
I'm not answering that question.
I don't know, Gareth. Can you? You can just see his fucking pecs are bouncing back and forth.
I've
while he's
already
talking.
forgotten the Orkeevan's name.
Gumner.
I mean,
can he
wouldn't want
He plays over Governor.
He's doing it right now. It's like talking to Mike Tyson.
He's over there as Terry fucking Crews.
Valerie tosses a gold coin to him.
He snatches it up and thank you kindly.
If you don't mind letting me my weapons ride, I think I want to test my speed against yours.
He takes it. He looks at it. He twists his head left, right, and there's a loud popping sound, and he stretches his arms and stretches his legs up, and he goes, "Ooh, I like it. Tell you what, how about you get half your fee back if you win?"
Azrin leans over to
Why
Valerie.
not? And I'll pay half the fee again to you. If you
No, just buy me a drink when we
oh,
get
did
back.
not mean to press that.
What if he doesn't have legs?
Oh no, that's alright.
I meant fucking click my fucking gold amount.
Oh, that's alright. Yeah, you put the claymore into the back of the seat. But you take off your stuff, you unbridle yourself and place it to the back of the cart. He picks up the back of the cart, and he's gonna he gets ready to go and lifts a few times once or
Garrett stretches
twice.
a
Hope the ride is smooth. I have reading to do.
bit. Garrett won't answer that.
it's about to not be. It's about to not be. All right, Gareth. Give me an athletics check.
All right.
No.
Okay.
Ooh, all right. This is 100% a fair fight, actually. This is pretty 50-50. Here we go. This is he's not a proficient in weapons per se, but he is proficient in athletics. So. Oof.
Yeah, you know you're gonna show me, coward.
Oh, it's coming.
Okay, never mind.
What's coming?
Oh,
It's coming. It's coming. It came for me first, unfortunately. Listen, everybody saw it. Normally we would do the traditional contest of back and forth until there's a 3 in a row win. But for the sake of brevity tonight, I'm afraid we're just going to draw.
best out of 3.
Sure,
Not
we'll do best out
best
of 3. We'll do best out of 3 because there's a hard limit on that. So we'll do best out of 3.
Okay. Here's the second. Oh, well, I lost.
You don't know that.
I mean,
You lost.
All right, you lost.
Okay.
It's a tight fight. None of you. It's not a wide margin with either of those rolls. It's not bigger than 7, 6. Oh, 8 for the first one, but even then, they got +6. So with a range that big, but no, it's a tough fight. But oh man, Governor's been dry. He's been doing this a long time, and your cardio's not as up to snuff as you wish it could be. You never fall behind, but he gets there ahead of you, and he's clearly not as winded. And you're like, oh, but nothing too hard.
Well, Governor.
Azreen and Valerie and Brookhild, your hair is all a mess. Your cloth and your jewelry are behind your body, catching up to the rest of you, and you think that you got there in under like 20 minutes or so, if that. And he gets gave me a run for the money anyway.
I mean, you had all that extra weight. I mean, good lord, if you didn't have that.
Oh, these 3, they're nothing.
All Kevins run like this?
I don't know, just me. I'm from the steppe, you see. It's a bit easier. I'm on my legs. Lifetime of working these games.
You also have a lifetime of rattling your passengers. Brooke's like desperately fixing her clothes and her hair. She's like,
Ignore the dwarf.
There's like
Dwarf friend.
there's parts of Valerie's wrapped scarves that are like that are around her face and she's pulling them down.
They're covering your eyes.
How much was the ride again, Azrain?
I don't think he said.
The ride was 10 gold. He was going to give you 5
gold,
back
okay.
if you...
Gareth will give him an extra 5.
All right, give him the...
Alright, so
the fair's bet.
So I dock
Oh.
5,
So you'll...
and then you give him 5, so I only have to.
Oh,
dock
no. You're giving him 10. I'm giving him an extra 5.
Oh,
I already
but
paid-
he's giving
I already-
me 5 back.
I gave him
What?
1 because he peck popped.
No, Gareth lost, so he's not going to give 5 back. He's...
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, so
okay.
it's
I give you 3 to
Okay.
pay him. So
Sorry.
I've already paid 3 gold.
So
Alright.
you just pay, you pay 7 gold, Azrain.
Okay. Sorry, I got confused.
That's all right. I understand. There was a
So
delay involved.
I'm
I
giving
can't-
him an extra money.
I can't spend any more gold.
All right, that's fine. I mean, you're
If-
paying for a good service. He gets you there
No.
literally within the hour. So.
No, if I spend any more gold, I don't have a fantastic number.
What's the number?
I love 69.
69.
696.
All right. Well, you know what? Nice. You get there. He kind of like tries to get. No, don't worry. Just buy me a drink next time you're in town. I'm off at later this evening. Maybe I'll catch you.
All right.
I'll hand it back off to you.
Well, I don't want to keep you, friend.
Oh yeah, everybody load off. It's good to see some friendly faces. I wasn't expecting. Oh, if you've enjoyed Governor's Carts, we'll be happy to ferry you around. All the best services for the best of you. Good luck with the Keys establishment. They're a little bit more on the secretive side, if you know what I mean.
Thank you for the ride. It was wonderful as always. I hope to see you again.
Take care.
He's still sweating a bit, clearly kind of giving the run for his money by Gareth. He might have still won, but it was. He's like, oh yeah, you know what, you guys can. I'm gonna sit down for a little while. He takes a drink from his canteen, and you guys head inside to the Keys Manor.
Mm-hmm.
We're let inside pretty quickly at the sight of Azrene. The guards will tell you to wait for a short moment at the lobby, but you guys are only waiting for about a minute before Crispin comes down the stairs from up above. He's wearing traditional attire. He's not in his garb that is fancy, but he is still wearing his normal street clothes, if you will. Black pants, white shirt.
So, Valerie isn't saying anything to Crispin at all, but at the moment he shows up, Valerie has been just staring at him the whole time with essentially what is the knife cat expression.
Okay. You come down the stairs and he does look at you, and being the inquisitive fellow that he is, he seems to spend a long time staring at Valerie and just kind of points at you. Are your eyes always that color?
What color?
Red.
Raquel just snickers. Unfortunately, this time, dear Crispin, we're here for business, not pleasure.
He kind of looks up and rolls his eyes for a second, and then kind of goes, oh, that's such a shame. You're always such a pleasure to be around, Brookhill.
Just does she though? The face that fucking Daenerys makes, just scratches her. Sure. Oh, what a charm.
Well, to what do I owe the pleasure? How do you need a...
I am going to expose to Crispin our plan, with, the party's accord.
All in favor, say aye.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel also Gareth should also be just chiming in parts, I guess.
Yeah. I just mean overall, is explaining the information we have and what we plan to do with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll be honest.
Actually, can I? Why would we tell them that we want to do that?
Well, I mean,
shouldn't we be more secretive about this because we're totally not doing a illegal thing? I mean, now we are, but it's for not good reasons.
But it's also for the reason that if we don't do this, it's going to be worse.
Yeah.
I suppose so.
So we're giving him
Wait,
we're giving him a warning ahead of time.
I'm not talking about Busta Jane.
I'm not talking about Jane.
Oh.
No, we're just talking about we want to free Carl.
Oh.
Or
actually,
reduce
I will make a point to mention quote unquote the information that Jane has given us, but what Brooke will say is she'll be as certainly we've seen Walter. There's odds that if Carl knows anything, Walter's gonna want him out of there. There might be a mess. Wink, wink, hint, hint. Well, not wink, wink. She's very serious about it.
No. The thing that we're trying to say is that, he didn't know he was working for Walter.
No, he knew. That's not true.
Or
he knew he was working for Walter, but he didn't know that it was going to include.
What we're saying isn't that there might have been an attack on the prince. What we're saying is he might have been coerced to do it. And also, the most important defense that we have isn't that. Our most important defense is we're going to argue for his liberation in exchange for information and assisting us in actually finding Walter because he's the head of operations, and that's how how it happens. If you get arrested and you're part of a gang, they will give you a bunch of shit for ratting out the rest of your gang. That's just how it is. That's how it is in the real world. That's what they do. That's our main, that's our core defense. Not no, he's actually innocent. It's no, he definitely did the crime, but he knows everybody else.
I'm letting you leave this.
I'm much more confident in not trying to pretend that he didn't do anything wrong.
Oh. Everybody seems to be kind of... Is everyone okay with it? Is letting Brookhill sort of take the forward with this proposal?
Yeah.
All right, Valerie, you okay? You good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, then. Brookhill, do you have the...
We can't argue coercion without Carl's, assistance. We can't argue that by ourselves. We can't decide, no, this person has been coerced. He'd have to testify fitting us. I mean, if Alexandria works anywhere remotely to any real-life court of law. Which I'm assuming Greg didn't necessarily plan for because he didn't think I would be having a lawyer episode, but this is Phoenix right now.
They arrested him just because he was wearing blue, actually. Wow. No, I mean, yeah, no, it's slightly more medieval in its ways
Why
of
didn't
thinking.
they
but-
arrest Bathory?
It's more
That's
like purple
purple,
shade.
it's
It's,
fine.
yeah, the shade. It's a hue. But okay, yeah, sure. So do you relay? What do you relay to him roughly? You don't have to do it live, word by word. But
Basically, we've been trying to find Walter for a really long time.
Mhm.
We know that he's in league with the Dark-Eyed Prince. We've seen them together at the party. We've
Yeah.
seen them leave.
It-
Have we? I think, or
No,
Umber has seen.
you haven't seen them in the same place at the same time, no.
Well, didn't Umber see him
Some with
outside, like in a
Euripides.
carriage? Oh, with Euripides.
Hmm.
Well, he was there. Anyways, he's a problem. Dark-Eyed Prince or not, he's a problem. We need to fix that problem. And basically, yeah, we want to argue Carl's like. What the fuck is liberté conditionnelle en anglais?
I don't fucking know.
I'm googling it. Give me a
That's
minute.
a good question.
I hate your fucking language.
I understand. Ironically, Crispin actually speaks
Parole,
parole. I see.
basically, right?
Crispin kind of sits quietly and listens for a while, and just goes, Well, we've done a lot of investigating of him already. He's been subject to multiple interviews and interrogations. Some under the truthfulness zone of truth. Some magics. There doesn't seem to be any sign of magical coercion. Usually, there's gaps in memories, things like that. He's been quite assertive that he was unaware the prince was on board, but well, I hate to break it to the four of you, but I ironically don't have much to do with the prosecution process. I'm an inspector, and I catch the criminals, and
Right, but you can also just give your own, nudge, I suppose.
We're also wondering if you could, help us.
As once we within moments of the attack, he immediately surrendered himself
Ironically,
without doing any major harm.
Well, this is true. This is why we did. I already downgraded his sentence from attempted assassination of the prince to assisting in attempted assassination of the prince.
Well, seeing as we are by no means actual lawyers, I was also wondering if your authority might also help
Assist
us
us.
He scratches
obtain,
his chin.
good to court in the first place.
So, you're suggesting not necessarily full freedom, but some form of parole, some freedom with a clause. Is that what I'm understanding?
Indeed.
Yes.
Or community work, or however it works here, or however, I don't know, I've been reading books, but...
Understandable.
Provided whatever way he can assist you when out of prison.
Brookill, please roll a persuasion check with advantage because you fucking got the library books that are specifically for you. 17.
That's high. That's
Alright.
high.
I mean,
Have plus marketing.
Very below a 20.
I'll be honest with you guys. I think that he's just a real big dumb idiot, but he's a dangerous big dumb idiot. I'm favorable to your cause, but I don't think regular community service is going to cut it with the courts, with the judges. Maybe you guys can give me a rough idea of something to pitch of how he might be more useful than just
Would him
breaking
offering
rocks.
any information about the attack to you be any use, though?
I don't think he has any more information to give. He's already told me so much. He seems to clam up a
Well,
little
he-
bit when I ask him about the actual contract process, and he's alluded to things that don't all line up, and I will admit there's some frustration there, but he doesn't seem to know enough about Walter to warrant his release or continued work with the Force.
What?
Oh, we might be able to help with that.
How so?
Through other means? I don't know. I didn't think that through. I didn't think Crispin would question me further.
I understand. Crispin says.
I mean,
I get it.
he knows we are not agents of the law, and he also knows that. Well, I don't want to talk about Jane, because then Jane gets caught. That's scary. We don't want to.
That's an enemy that you've made.
Yeah.
That's an enemy of one busted Jane. Well, I mean, or maybe. You guys are working in a gray area right now.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
if I could think of some kind
While
of idea
he
to
is
use him, utilize him somehow, but
dangerous, he doesn't seem to be ill-intentioned. He just seems to be, let's say, played with some other people who are forced to turn to banditry.
Certainly not as dangerous as Walter.
Oh, you got me there. I got nothing against the guy, frankly. It's not me you have to convince, it's the judges.
But could we not have your help in this matter?
No, you got my help. I feel like it's you haven't steered me wrong so far. You seem to know your stuff. I want to do what I can, but I only have so much sway.
Clearly,
And if you're going to go for this, we want to go with the strongest possible strike.
Clearly, you're alluding to the fact that he is indeed withholding information. So, if he won't speak to you, maybe he could speak to us.
Wait, I thought he said that he wasn't withholding.
No, he's not talking about the contract. He's not talking about the specifics of the contract.
Crispin says that
He didn't. Crispin said he didn't want to talk about certain things regarding.
I think he's playing dumb. Crispin says, I think he's playing dumb. He hasn't lied. He's not withholding, but I think, as dumb as he is, I think he's still playing dumb about some things. I don't know, but I don't know if it's important. I honestly don't think it is important. But
well, we may possess some information that might be able to encourage him to divulge that information.
And
all right, you know what?
I also similar to what I did during the gala, I could also, if we ask the right questions and I'm paying close enough attention, I could probably get more information.
And he seemed amicable to me, at least, so perhaps he would be willing to speak to me.
That's a word for a big guy. All right, I'm game. You all have an afternoon. We can get on the carriage and be there by the late afternoon.
Gareth nods.
Excellent.
Sounds like a trip.
Let me get my coat. Turns around and walks back up the stairs. Do you guys want to chat? Phoenix, right, it's a journey. Do you guys want to chat? This is a moment of downtime, or do you want to fast forward to
Azarine makes a face at both Brookehild and Valerie.
Gareth turns.
Valerie pays Azarine no mind. It just shrugs and looks the other way.
What's the problem?
Gareth turns to Brookehild. 50 gold on the idea that we don't have to bust.
I'm certainly not going to bet against myself.
No, fair enough, actually. I'm dumb. I'm the player. I'm dumb because I forgot. Oh, right. Yeah, no, it's all weighing on her.
This is true. And she might be petty enough to tank the whole thing for your 50 gold.
The whole thing just for 50 gold.
You'd just be down 50 gold and you'd have the bust. It's a win-win for Brookehild.
You know what?
Don't do it. You guys are doing so good.
Gareth turns. I'm going to wind back to 5 seconds.
Understandably, you use your redo button.
I do my redo. I press the fucking undo, Control Z, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
50 gold says that no matter, even after all this effort, we're going to still have to bust.
Brooke's going to think about it.
Gareth, is there a deadline on this bet?
Gareth just offers his hand right now.
Ooh, take it or leave it, Brookehild.
Well, I'm not taking his hand no matter what.
Oh, fair.
But are you going to take the bet?
How much? 50?
50 gold. That's a hefty chunk of change in this campaign. That means something in this campaign when money is how you level up. That means something.
I have an extra 50 if we do bust.
Wait, are you tacking onto me or are you tacking onto her?
I'm stacking on to Gareth.
Well, then that's more against.
That means Brookehild could win 100, and you could both win 50. But that's also asking Brookehild to ask to $100 pot.
No, that's worse.
I have no money, guys. I want to do it, but I have no money. Everybody else has 10 times my money because I've been leveling up.
Would you be willing to do it if you said 25? I'm saying out of character.
I'll do it for 25.
Okay.
I'll keep mine at 50.
You're not in this. You're not in this conversation, Valerie.
You can't three-way bet this one, I don't think. I was going to bet with Azarine, but who knows. All right, well, then the bet is sealed. The bet
Bet
is
is
sealed.
sealed. 25 gold.
25 gold is now up in the air.
Like Garrett's like holding hands, and she's like, "Yeah, deal," but she just doesn't take the hand. She's like,
And
"No,
then
I
you
don't-"
turn around and walk out, and
Yeah.
the four
I
of you...
mean, don't forget, Garrett was saying you can't do it.
It's true.
Yeah, she's saying, "Bitch, I can do it."
Hell yeah. I
But
like
not with the confidence of 50 gold, it seems.
I don't have 50 gold, you asshole.
Oh, brutal.
Eat shit. I don't have it.
Anyways, time to go
I
talk to
I
Carl.
need my fucking money, dude.
You don't have any money,
I'm
it's
lower than
understandable.
everybody else.
I know. You guys end up getting into the back of the large black carriage. It's drawn by about 4 horses or so, and a driver is fetched, and the 5 of you, including our NPC... Oh, excuse me. You get into the road, and, well, it's a long jaunt. You find yourselves going through the city, and eventually out to the outskirts, to the farmland, and before you know it, you're kind of taking more longer scenic routes that are still staffed by guard quite often, as you slowly surmount the nearby mountain. And it is along the ocean, it is along the opposite side of the harbor, if you will, from the distance you see a lighthouse, tall and strong, a flame lit at the top as it's getting closer to the afternoon hours. It's a long journey. It's about an hour and a half. And that's just by 4 strong horses on a very fine cart. Eventually, you pull out to the front of a large castle. Very large. It is stone and wood for the most part. It seems to be half built of older materials, and then half new, more modern materials to your eyes. It seems like this might have been a repurposed place that has now been turned into a prison. It has the flags of Alexandria, but as well a few other stranger flags that I don't think are familiar to any of you. Maybe if someone wants to roll a history check, it's somewhere buried deep in the back of your mind, but it doesn't spring immediately to recognition. It's not the Inquisition flags or anything like that. That's
history,
optional.
you said?
Yeah, if you'd like to try and figure out what these the flags might mean, but I don't. It'd be kind of hard. It's obscure knowledge.
Bitch.
Then.
Oh, damn, Gareth, man.
Military, baby.
You paid attention during college.
Apparently, wow.
Academy, yeah.
Academy, yeah, Gareth. It's the flags of the Black Chain, which is a paramilitary. Continue. Black Chain. It is a paramilitary organization. Essentially, it is a independent prison system.
Okay, so they're known for prisons.
Yeah,
They're not just paramilitary.
No, I mean they are effectively a military, but their focus is we build, make, and maintain prisons, and which is also technically that means this is a somewhat private enterprise.
I didn't expect the Flame Knights to be utilizing members of the Black Chain.
Oh, well, times have been tough, unfortunately. We have more coin than we have men. We sacrifice a little bit of...
to have.
What was that?
A unique issue to have.
Well, we just came out of a civil war a few years back, and, well, war is good for business and also bad for the population, if you know what I mean.
I do.
I'm not happy about it, frankly. I don't like offloading prisoners into the control of private entities with which we no longer really control what happens to them.
Quite risky indeed. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Gareth is back. It's like, no.
Obliterate. Knocks down the side of the... No.
No.
You approach the front gates, and for
they are prisoners who were involved in actual royal crimes.
So we maintain a very stiff control. The wing that he is a part of is very much so Flame Knight oriented in terms of their crimes. I won't lie, though, there's some people who simply disappear into this complex.
Like, as in they get lost in the halls, or they and she drags a finger across her neck.
No. More like, I think, ends up working adamantine mines a little bit farther to the north of here, or east of here, or, put to hard labor as part of their sentence. And so I'm having this tingling feeling that some of it's not all above board on contracts. I have a feeling that they're not abiding that all Flame citizens are to remain within Alexandria. But who cares for prisoners? He shows them their badge, and the 2 guards at the front are heavy metal knights. They are full-blown charioteer knights, and they
wait, can't I as a fighter see
Kill them.
Meta shit?
If you spend a minute, I believe you can learn about one of their stats, whether it's higher or lower than yours. I believe is how that works. But you have
That's one individual.
You know, maybe
Well,
you spend 2 minutes.
I mean, if these are all his NPCs, right?
I think you
And
can
I'm
always just
walking
roll
down,
flat
and I'm just like
insight to
looking
gauge-
at like all the different armor, like they're all armored the same and shit, right? They're probably outfitted similarly.
For the
They
most
probably
part.
have the same stats, right?
Oh.
What you're saying?
Can I argue that just as I'm walking down, right?
Oh,
For that
these two out front are wearing very they're wearing plate mail armor,
Mm.
and they have halberds, and they just look like they look tough.
Don't forget, guys, we're not fighting them. We're trying to stop, quote unquote,
Right,
the riot.
right. I'm just saying.
This is a
Provided
preview of the
that
dungeon.
everything goes
It's
wrong.
wrong. I'm just trying to gain extra information right now.
Nothing's gonna go wrong.
Oh,
Everything's gonna go
Yeah,
perfect.
do you want to kind of if Gareth can stall for 2 minutes, I would say that you can actually learn
Fuck.
quite a lot. If you can stall for 2 minutes to really look these two over, which may or may not be the first boss of this dungeon, if you were to try and bust, I would say that you might have advantage on your first attacks against him because you spend 2 minutes. If you think that if you think that you can just your first attacks of the round.
I know, but
But
also
if
I just
you
want to
can-
know, like you know,
Alright.
how chunky they be, you
How
know?
chunky they be? Oh, you know. What do you do to stall
That's just
for?
perception.
Hey, actually, can I use my military background to know, you know, like if like those the weapons, if they're like, you know, made with like a really nice alloy or just trying to base my.
I'm gonna demand a skill check, but I'll let you use your.
What do you mean?
Do intelligence or wisdom, but add your proficiency.
Okay, so this will add 3
Yeah, add your
to my
your
intelligence roll.
We'll pretend that there's an invisible
17, baby.
17. All right, yeah, it looks like their halberds have an adamantine edge to them, and it looks like they probably hurt quite badly. They're wearing a lot of heavy metal armor. Their AC is probably 18 each, and it looks like they do a lot of damage, but they probably don't have much more health than you do. They look to be mortal men.
Which you know is still a lot.
Which is still a lot, but they look to be. They look to be on par with you in terms of experience and meatiness, but they are very well equipped. Their AC is high, and their damage potential is also probably quite high as well.
Like extremely good. If it's
They look like they probably have polearm mastery for the feet.
are
They
all
can probably attack twice.
Black Chain members equipped with adamantium. That's quite impressive. Gareth is saying this out loud to maybe the guard. You know, just as like, you know, we're being like checked in or whatever.
Guard looks up and down. Yeah, Crispin's kind of talking with the front person. The guard will kind of turn to look at the 4 of you, and he kind of catches it and he goes, "Oh, this bad boy, you know, look at the best of stuff, you know, the best of men." Uh-huh. You can barely see the slit. You can see kind of looks to be like a Goliath face on the other side.
I mean, I wish I could, you know, take the time to compare weapons. I mean, it's not as, you know,
The knight blushes.
impressive as yours, but it's are you those polearms? You ever had to? Oh God, I'm stumbling as a player.
That's right. I think I know where you're going.
As
Ever had to use them before? Yeah, once or twice. A riot a couple of years back during the Civil War. They thought they could get a little bit, you know, take advantage of the situation. Had to put a few prisoners down. Hate to say it. Cut real good though, like butter.
butter.
Love that adamantine. You ever swung some adamantine?
I can't say that I have.
Ooh, it's heavy. It's real heavy, but this baby ain't ever gonna chip, ding, nick, scratch, nothing.
Quite heavy, eh?
Advantage against anything that's inanimate.
That's a weird thing to say, sir, but
You know, it's in the handbook of the Black Chain.
the Black Chain. Hold on.
Yeah, he pulls it out. It's a player's handbook for no.
Oh,
That's good stuff. Good stuff, rare though.
yes, I'm much more of a claymore wielder myself, but
classic.
I appreciate a good polearm.
Drake, can I get a read on like how expensive that getup would be? I'm not good at armor, but I'm good at money.
Yeah.
Adamantium.
Once again, roll
Like
an
that
intelligence
amount
or
of
wisdom. I don't know. Can you convince me that you'd have some level of proficiency in this sort of thing?
Well, like, adamantium as a material is probably really, important in trade, and
That's very
if
true.
I'm not done. If it gets harvested in mines where illegal slave work happens, that
Yeah,
means
it's
you make
very
a black market for it.
very exceedingly expensive. It's some of the most rare materials on the planet. Mithril actually is an alloy that humanity made in an attempt to recreate adamantine,
I see.
and that's what mithril is. Adamantine is a natural ore, and it seems to be in weird random places, but famously there's some along the north coast of Winthrop at the coasts. And it is very difficult to mine just because it is stupid hard to begin with. It's hard to get out of the ground, and then second, it's hard to work. And it's nasty work too because it's usually found in places that are covered in salt or half buried by water, and so now you're just digging and mining, and caves are filling with water all around you. Some people drown.
I see.
Your armor actually has a few pieces of adamantine in it, but it's super small. Even a small amount, even just the edge of like when people have adamantine weapons and armor, it's usually because like every 20 chains and chainmail armor it's like adamantine, or like the edge is just adamantine.
Would jewelry be made out of it for the flex?
That I can only think of like maybe one person that would do such a thing, just because of how ludicrously expensive it is, and they're in your family.
It's my grandpa.
Yes. I think that's the only person I could think of that would do such a thing, and I think that's a very dwarf thing to do as well, because dwarves used to be a huge export. It actually it didn't used to be like this.
This is what I would know about adamantium.
Yeah, Nefir, which is an old dwarven city, we used to be a big exporter of it, since dwarves live under the mountain over there. They don't all live under mountains, but they did over there, and they mined a lot. But that place was obliterated during the Dark-Eyed Princes, the war with the Dark-Eyed Prince. So it's a wasteland now. But yeah, it's super rare. And if you were to sell your armor, you'd probably make a huge chunk of change.
This means difficult to brand people because they clearly get paid well. And that's why I was asking.
Also very true. Potentially, very, very nuanced. The Crispin, eventually they sign your way in, and Gareth Durand, I think you've stalled long enough, so you think that you've hired them. You've got their buckles down. You think you know where you can drive your weapons true, and everybody will get advantage. If you guys have to fight these people, these would be the front line. Yeah, it seems like this would be the first boss of the dungeon, but it would be a case of the first round you guys can have advantage. Remember that. I won.
I mean, if we do fight, that means we might just get some adamantium weapons.
We're not gonna fight. This is Phoenix Wright. You don't fight people in Ace Attorney.
Unless they're attuned and cursed that they self-destruct if you were to.
I fucking wanted to sometimes.
Actually, something else that I should actually note, because now that I think about it, Brukel actually would notice, it is actually very common for very fancy things, like a lot of adamantine tools are magically rigged to self-destruct if they are not being wielded by the person that they're attuned for.
Really?
Yes, especially since it's so hard to get, they don't want to have a situation where a bunch of guerrilla warfare people were just ambush some stupid knights, and now the guerrillas that are living out in the fucking woods are better equipped than the majority of the country. So they will have the weapons. It's like cursed. Like some of the things that you guys have cursed. So self-destruct in different ways. Some of them just like instantly corrode. But others will just be like the weapon becomes like Thor's hammer and you can't lift it.
Adamantium nipple piercings are definitely cursed.
They're definitely cursed. Yeah, absolutely, definitely cursed. Your grandpa's nipple piercings are definitely cursed.
I hate this.
But anyway, they lead you into the prison. You look to your left and right. The first is a big open courtyard, and there are some tall fences, mostly just made of wood. They're not going to go crazy. There's no steel wire chicken fence in this. And there are some people outside that are wearing relatively mundane clothes, and mostly it's just kind of rags, and they're kind of being walked around and doing their normal thing. The prisoners are mostly just kind of left to their own devices.
How clean is the place?
The place is quite clean. You can tell some of the prisoners are being put to work cleaning it. There seems to be this level of understood cleanliness, this kind of showmanship, if you will, especially in the front courtyard. Things are actually kind of nice. There's even some gardens along the way. This place pretends it's a castle.
I'm curious.
Once you get to the first courtyard, which you notice has several portcullises that can drop in front of you to impede your progress and have to stop you. and you might have to like find some other route and a winding S-like pattern. But no, you're here as guests, so you can just walk right underneath the portcullises. But you notice that there's a couple of portcullises before you're at the main front gate, which is open at this point. But you can tell there's a large drawbridge over some water, and over that is the gate that is open proper. And that is when you are inside. It seems to be like a castle hall, but it's filled with a lot of things that are more mundane and desk work, for example. And this is a relatively small hall. It's about the size inside of more like what you would expect from the Jarl's house in Windhelm. It's kind of like more like that size. It's not like on Orlando huge. It's much more like down to earth size. And there's some hallways that stretch off to the left and right, and a few stairs here and there that seem to disappear into different wings. They take you up the left-hand wing. They get to this point, and they immediately take a left. And there's a few winding passages, but you're mostly just walking straight through. Once again, there's a couple of portcullises, and eventually, after a final... Actually, also, as you're walking through, in the very end of this wing, there's a huge, big, circular room, and nobody seems to know why. It doesn't seem to serve any purpose. There's like a box or two just kind of hanging out there, and they'll just kind of walk through and just ignore it. Maybe it's like a room for exercise or something. You're really not sure. And around this room, it is several cages. Or the door, they're the cage doors. They're not like cages, but like they're the door for a cell. It's like a panopticon. And in one of these doors, which after a large key opens up, you find one Slikar resting on his laurels on the far end bench, held up by chains. He's looking out the window longingly. He is quite more. The clothes don't fit him. He might be like part giant or something. It's really hard to tell, but he's just wearing this tight T-shirt, his belly button sticking out, and he just sees the four of you enter along with Crispin, and then Gareth enters, and he goes, "Oh no! Oh boy, jeez! Oh, I've had enough. I've had enough."
Don't worry. I'm just. We're not here to hurt. I mean, we're not here to hurt you. I'm just trying to see if we can. I felt bad for you after the incident, and I was just seeing. You seemed like an all right fellow.
Oh, I mean, that's good. I like to think I'm an all right bloke. I just, Crispin kind of like.
Crispin, do we talk to him, or do we?
Crispin kind of nods, like I would.
Well, I'm gonna lead this to.
Brookhilde Nazarene, take the floor.
I mean, wait. Well, because I feel like I think Gareth would probably have the best time. I mean, yeah, no, wait for you to cash your fucking magic thing.
Nazarene is kind of like very subtly. She whispers something in what language do I know? She whispers something in Primordial, and then her eyes kind of glow like a light purple.
Brookhilde, can you also detect magic?
I can detect magic. Yeah, that's fine.
What? I'm sorry, that's the wrong.
That's dumb. We're all clicking the wrong thing.
We're all having a time.
Right.
We're all having a time.
I don't think you need to hold him. He's already held.
That's the wrong spell.
You force choke Carl in the corner of this.
Oh, right. Before we do that, Crispin, magic won't be, detected or alarming, right? Like, just so then we don't immediately just trigger our alarm and then,
Trigger an alarm? Well, actually, now that you mention it, pull him out of there, because I don't think that there's going to be any magic that works in these cells. And it kind of goes over the guards.
Can I try to detect magic around the cell itself, like,
Sure.
or does that not work?
Well, how does your
Detect
magic
is
work?
magic. Well, Eldritch Sight appears. I'm not sure if it's like. It's a warlock invocation, so I'm not sure if it's just like a fifth sense that I have now because I'm a warlock.
Oh,
or
does
if
it say like at will or like once per
it's
day?
at will.
Oh, okay. Does it say like do you learn schools of magic and stuff like that, or is it like anything? It'll glow with a faint glow if it's.
It's detect magic, like the spell, except I can do it all.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah. Every cell does have. Every cell is there's a warding spell which prevents you from casting magic inside these cells.
Okay.
Okay, how good is it?
It seems to be quite robust, and it seems to. Oh, maybe this is a little bit too much detail, but I feel like giving a little bit too much detail. Right? It seems like a robust old magic, like maybe it was here before the prison was.
But does it? Is there any additional like transmission magic, or like?
No salty. There's no wee woo alarm system.
Well, I mean,
I
yeah.
would like.
there is the
can't
spell
tell that. I
alarm
can
is
only
cast
tell
on
if
every
something-
cage, cast on every door in the cell block.
See, fuck you.
The spell alarm, which is a faint siren song, essentially, but it seems to only be for some of the cells in here. It seems like they don't
So
have
it's an individual thing. They put it up on a case by case basis.
Yeah,
probably.
you notice that it's not on the ones that don't have people in them.
Oh, I see.
It doesn't
That
seem to
makes
be
sense.
inherent to the. Yeah, maybe someone's
well-
maybe someone has to manually cast them. But that being said, that means that there's magic that can be cast outside of the cells in this room,
Right.
in the main room in the hall.
That's right. You might wanna walk out.
But yeah, they'll lead you out, and for brevity's sake, unless you stop along the way, they would lead out into the courtyard and just sit down at one of the benches.
So, Carl, Gareth, or Azrin, is your spell going?
Yeah, Azrin, how's this
her
work?
eyes are going
Okay.
light,
How long?
light purple.
You cast this at the proper time, but it lasts up to a minute. Okay, so
And I
Brookild.
I don't mind
God.
recasting it a couple of times. I can cast it a total of 5 times
Can
if
can
I
you,
use
like,
my
wait
higher
until-
level spell
okay.
slots.
So can you wait until we've actually gotten to like? The,
Yeah,
the
she was
question
out.
and
I'm not so
Yeah.
cruel that we're.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brookild, you sit down directly across on this like picnic table, and you have
Yeah,
your.
she
That
holds
sounds
her
okay.
dresses like very tightly, like she's just because she has so many
Do we-
like clothes and shit. She's in a
Before we
prison.
begin, do we have a code word if like I catch like he says one thing and then his thoughts betray that he's lying?
We can discuss that later. I think.
Do I just like
Just
do I
say
just
he's
like
lying. We're not
All
trying to hide that from him.
just liar?
He knows he's lying, probably. All right, it's a spell save. Do you know if he succeeds?
It does not require a saving
Oh,
throw
right, this is just a
unless I
surface
dig
level.
deeper. So
Okay, yeah, sure. I'm all about it. Yeah,
Well,
so
anyways,
we begin.
Carl, last time we met,
I do prefer Igor.
Slitty your full name. My apologies. You weren't in the best situation. I would put it bluntly.
No, sir.
But I felt a little bit,
Crispin,
bummed by your situation, as you seemed, like a
Crispin, and a guard are here.
That's fine.
Just
That's
also
fine.
make sure that you guys know.
I'm friends with this man here, and it's not Inquisitor. What's his fucking
Inspector.
Inspector Crispin? Has telling me that you've been quite, forthcoming with a lot of information, which is great to so that you get out sooner rather than later, right? Because I don't think anyone would enjoy staying in here. Am I right?
The judge waived the death penalty, and that was good.
That was good. Yeah.
That's something. I might still be looking at life though. He said, or maybe a reduced sentence if I work in the mines.
But
Right.
but
I'm gonna know that.
there was some information that Crispin was telling me that you didn't exactly were completely forthcoming with.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm doing what I can. It's been a forgetful time for me and Azrin.
Right.
You're
No,
sensing lies.
right.
What?
And
He seems to
Wait,
be
what?
lying. He seems to be. He's like, I wasn't holding anything back. I'm just forgetful,
Okay.
He seems to be anxious in his mind.
but I understand that, but anything, any sort of information, that any sort of information that you could provide to them, might allow these fine gentlemen to allow you to, bust on out of here, sooner rather than later.
Azrin, you can speak.
She kind of like side mentions to like Gareth. He's not. He's just lying.
Yeah, I figure. They all do kind of do that.
Let me know if you need me to press deeper, and I will.
Gareth just kind of gives her a thumbs up. But Gray, did you hear what I said to him?
Yes. I will I will roll an insight check for
That's what I
fucking
thought.
Carl. You usually like it when I roll in front of you.
Yes, you know I do.
Oh boy, an insight check from Slitty fucking Carl.
He's gonna get natural 20. I can just feel it.
Please be a nice.
I think you need to make a. We need a DC.
Like, cause I'm
No,
just saying,
he's not hiding.
I'm not like wink, right, or doing like, cause I don't want to.
Well, that's unfortunate. Slitty Carl's insight. Yep.
Whole -1.
Here we come.
I hear it. I'm waiting to see it.
Oh my god!
Man, Crispin wasn't lying when he word for word called him a stupid dum-dum.
Oh, so then it should be relatively easy to get into his mind.
Slitty Carl forgets how to breathe for a second. And then.
Oh,
Can you believe it? People getting killed. If you get killed by this man, you deserve it. That's nature. That's natural selection.
This is the man that was talked into helping to assassinate a prince.
Yeah, I can see how they talked him into it.
And how he didn't
Yeah.
know it was actually a prince.
And how he didn't
I'll
realize.
give you a piece of candy if you come raid this train for me. Done.
And then if you kill this guy, you'll get cake.
He did it just for the train ride.
Whee! Such excitement. Oh no,
Slitty Carl with his head outside
Oh
the
my
window.
How does he react?
he just seems more he seems sweaty and he's I'm trying my best with the mining. It sounds like a good job. I love serving my community and sweating. But yeah, you can. Azreen is just like Azreen is just sensing so many like anxious like But no, he misses.
If anyone pays attention to Azarine a little bit, she's just like she looks irritated.
No, nobody's coming for me, honest. That guy who looked like a crow, he not coming for me. I don't know him.
Right.
I don't need the tech stop to know that's a lie.
I'm sure, Carl, that you have family out there who are worried about your state of being. Right, they're hoping to see you get out safely.
Oh, actually, I'm an only child. Actually,
Is that a lie?
he's lying.
Of
You can say the only thing you hear in his head is "Oh God, oh God, oh God" over and over again.
Does no one here have Zone of Truth?
I mean,
we don't have. Well, Crispin.
Crispin has Zone of Truth, but he hasn't cast it yet. This is
Mr.
But it would also subject you guys
Carl.
to Zone of Truth.
Mr. Slitty Carl. Technically, none of us are lying.
I'm not lying at all. No, I'm just
Yeah,
saying
Brooke,
words.
what do you have to
I
say?
understand that you're scared. She's gonna like reach out and like she's just like gonna like tap the table as a like comforting like hand gesture because like she's not gonna touch his hand.
Of
like,
course.
she's, we understand that you're scared. You we're trying our best here to make life and your sentence easier for you. It would be in your best interest to tell us any manner of information that you would know about Walter, since unfortunately for you, it is well known that you have worked together, and it is not a fact that is worth hiding at this point.
He purses his lips. What's Valerie? Yeah, I was just gonna ask what Valerie was doing, but if you're still talking, please continue.
Valerie's not doing. She's not too much involved with this mentally, to be honest. Like character-wise.
Yo, case the joint so that like where we need to like.
Yeah.
She is standing with her friends and looking menacing. That's it.
No, look, gain information from us about the area because this ain't gonna work, buddy.
What do you mean this ain't gonna work? I already have a backup plan.
Valerie always looks menacing. She's just being herself.
I already have a
Okay.
backup plan. I know what you're
Anyways.
talking about. I have 2 backup plans.
Oh, Christ alive.
Azrina, Carl seems very uncomfortable and seems to be kind of mulling over multiple things in his mind. There's a lot of confusion in his mind of flip-flopping between some stuff, but you don't know why.
I'm gonna fucking press it. Give me
Oh, okay.
I think it's. Hold on.
I hope it's wisdom.
Please be wisdom.
If the creature.
It seems
Surface
to.
level. As an action, you can shift or Wisdom saving throw.
Oh, thank Christ.
Wait, hold on. Either way, the target knows you're probing its mind. Oh, hold on. Insight.
Do we want him to know that I'm reading?
I don't care. He might not even.
It's
All right.
Wisdom.
DC 15.
Oh,
He literally has to roll a natural 20.
Wisdom saving. Well, good news to say, Carl has never been one to
He
disappoint.
actually has to roll a natural 20.
Alright, give me the information.
Oh god, actually he's proficient in wisdom saving throws, which brings it up to a whole whopping 7.
How the fuck do you persist?
His classes.
Listen, he has proficiency in his wisdom saving throws. But he's not proficient in insight, so he has -5 for insight and then -2 for wisdom saving. No, he has no idea. He is very clearly thinking almost exclusively about Busta Jane. And trying to figure out, you can tell that she can't get involved in this. She's gonna be so mad at me. She's gotta be out of there. She can't know. They can't know. They don't want to know about her. Gotta keep her safe.
Azrine just pinches the bridge of her nose.
This, you hear in his mind. This one's for you, Busta Jane. I have no idea what you're referring to. He says out loud.
I think you know.
And then you just hear quietly in the back, "Oh, for the love of God!"
In his mind, you hear, nailed it.
Most importantly, it is important for us that you. No, sorry. Wait. I'm reading my notes. I made notes. This is how dedicated I am to making these fucking plans work. Okay, I made notes. I never do this. We know, of course, that you were unaware that the prince was on the train, as well as the...
No, I didn't know he was on. Honest.
Indeed, we believe you. I believe this testimony has already been gathered by Inspector Crispin.
Right.
He's not lying about the not.
No, he told Crispin that when he was under Zone of Truth. So
all right, so that's true.
So clearly, it's true.
You do in his mind. You hear kind of like this guilt of that he knew someone important was on the train. But he thought it was like a noble or something.
Yeah, obviously I was on that train. He wasn't wrong.
It was wrong.
We strongly believe that if you were to divulge any additional information about Walter, your sentence could be further alleviated, potentially even avoiding you a lifetime of service in the adamantium mines.
You wouldn't have to be going out. You wouldn't have to be going to the rocks or to the mines busting adamantium for.
Well,
I'm gonna slap Gareth like
busting adamantium for life sounds pretty rough indeed.
Please. Come on!
He won't get it. He can't. He literally has to roll a natural.
I don't even have
No. I'm just trying to get him to understand what I'm insinuating that I know.
Hold on. When Brookhild gives the offer, and you actually, Azrina can read his thoughts very clearly. He seems to know more. He for a second, you can actually read his thoughts, and he does seem to know more about Walter, about the point of the train heist, but it involves Busta Jane more. And he doesn't want to implicate her, and so you can see him mulling over in his mind that he's like, I can't do it, can't do it.
Can I whisper to
Do you have like magic whisper or whatever it's called?
No, but can I? He's dumb as a sack of bricks, so I am going to whisper to Brookhild.
Indeed, someone who has brain cells.
Someone who's not close.
Everything went right. He's literally. This is gonna fail because he's stupid.
He knows more about Walter, but it involves more Buster Jane more.
Roll stealth
You
check.
said
You
this
are surrounded by some people.
silently, right?
Yeah, she's whispering it, but there's some very perceptive
Yeah.
people here.
I'm like, chill. Like, do if we have message, use it.
I
I'm afraid no message. I'm afraid no message.
can I
mean,
rephrase it?
We can just.
Yeah, you can rephrase it. If you
Okay.
choose to do this, then
Right.
I'm just gonna make you roll stealth check.
He knows more about Walter, but he's refraining from diving more information, probably due to the partnership he had during the job.
Okay.
Song. Okay.
And you just say this across the table.
We can also, we can always
No.
discuss.
No, fuck.
Okay.
Wait.
Should have cast message.
Wait.
He doesn't have message. He doesn't have message.
Can't do that.
Wait,
Guys,
does no one have message?
Nobody has message.
no, we don't.
This is fucked, dude.
Wait a
You
minute.
can't bardic inspiration
That's
yourself.
not true.
Can't bardic
Me and
inspiration
Gareth have
yourself.
magic stones.
That's true, but you
Yeah,
have
but
to speak
oh
into
God.
them.
Yeah, I know. You still have to
Oh.
speak into them. It's
Well,
it's not message.
Dude, okay, guys, we can talk about this later. It's not like he's gonna disappear. He's not running away from. Like, we can
Right?
just
Yeah,
discuss
yeah.
what
You
we've
can
learned
just
later.
not do. You can just not do this right now.
Alright,
It's
never
okay.
mind.
Actually,
mean,
if you start, if Azarin starts talking, Brookill's just gonna like just like gesture and be like we'll just talk later because like there's a bunch of shit here, and that's not
Oh.
even
Ooh, you know
Thanks.
what?
that we don't.
You know
have-
what?
What else?
I can ask Brookhill to ask more about Walter.
Indeed.
Oh, now we're getting clever.
The crow-looking man, yes.
Yeah.
He was the one who paid you.
Yeah, he paid me really good.
Indeed. I assume he paid for your train ticket as well.
Oh yeah.
Did he provide you with any materials?
Mm,
I suppose a man of character like you would prefer to use his own weapons, yes?
oh, you bet I do. And he claps his hands together and crunches his knuckles.
Indeed.
He bought me one of those stones. You talking to say things, and it comes out the other side.
Message stones.
Yeah, he said that he would let me know when I needed to do my part.
Hmm.
And then he did.
Garrett?
And I did.
Garrett.
I'm not done.
Sorry.
Yeah, Brookhill has the floor. Well, Brookhill and Azarin. But
Were you aware that he would also be on this train with you?
yeah, he said he'd be on the train too. He said I wouldn't see him much after we got on though.
So you discussed that plan intensively.
He's thinking back, and Azarin can hear kind of the conversation that he had with Walter, because he's trying to think back and remember it. And Walter,
Jimmy.
in his mind, Walter said, "We're going to get on this train. There are people on there that are important, and some that are not important. And you need to hurt the important ones. You don't need to kill anyone, but you need to threaten to hurt them and make a scene, and take out all the frustration that you have on the fact that, well, this is once again, that you and your sister have felt over these many decades chafing under the rule of the rich. You can take that out on the people on this train. And then I'll finish my work," Walter says. "And then we all escape. I will be pulling up alongside in a cart. You will jump from the train, and we will all escape after we do our business, and I collect what I want to collect from the train. It's important that you keep them occupied for at least 5 minutes
Oh,
while I
God.
take what I need to from the train."
Oh fuck.
Okay.
And that's
so
what
I don't know
Azarin
this.
hears.
Indeed.
And you can
So
see him
what I-
wrestling a few things. Well, you know, it's a deal. He wanted some he wanted some stuff. You know, I'm a powerful mercenary, and I did what I could to, you know, he asked me to kind of be his guard, and
Indeed. You could say that you were partners on this, yes?
you immediately Azarin hears a fight between Busta Jane and City Carl. where City Girl does.
Drama.
Yeah,
Hold up.
Busta Jane does not. It is a very big argument between Busta Jane and Sleepy Carl, where she says that it's not worth the risk, and she's telling him not to become partners with Walter. It seems the word partner triggered this kind of memory in him real quick, of her saying, "Don't become partners with Walter. This guy is shady. I don't like him, and I have a feeling he's just going to use us."
She's a smart woman.
How the fuck did that remember? But I literally say Busta, and that doesn't.
So, and then he thinks back to like brushing it off, just saying, "But the money's good, and then we can get out of this stupid fucking country."
His memory is purely mnemonic. He just associates certain words with certain memories.
And then it kind of flashes forward and goes, "Oh no, I wasn't a partner. Oh no, I wasn't a partner. I wasn't a partner.
You were not partners?
No, I wasn't a partner. I was just hired." No, it doesn't seem. He doesn't think it's a lie. He thinks that he made a
But being
mistake.
hired and being partners is like different, you know.
Yeah, he thinks of the word partner. When he hears the word partner, he thinks
He's
of
like
Busta Jane.
friends. Yeah.
He thinks of partner to live or die.
So you're not particularly insulted that he abandoned you on that train to be arrested, if not killed?
I am very insulted, I'll have you know. I am not pleased with this. I think that I was set up as a foreman. I did not know what I was getting into, and if I could do it all again, I would not do it. I think
Is
it was
that
all part
truthful?
of his plan. Yeah, it's truthful. He legitimately thinks so at this point.
Would you say then that you would appreciate being able to take your revenge on Walter?
You know what? Yeah, I would. It would be a nice way to repay the debt that prick has brought on me.
Indeed.
And he seems truthful about that.
Just you?
I roll.
What were we talking
Like
about?
rolling both of that.
Well, you know what? He stares at Gareth and goes, "Yeah, just me. Just me."
It's okay. It's okay. I have the information I need. I don't need to know any more about Busta Jane. We can just ask her later.
But no, we need to.
It's fine. No,
we're
it's
not gonna
fine.
have. We're not gonna have enough time before she busts. I'm saying
I
this out
got
of
this.
character.
I got this.
Can we ask more about like?
Oh man, if this
Is there
podcast
any way-
is shit, this is gonna be the most brilliant thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can
we negotiate?
One last
Is
thing.
it-
There's a picture. Walter showed Carl a picture.
Can
Of
she
what he-
hear or see his memories?
She's hearing it. Well,
Okay.
what she's it's you read his thoughts.
Okay, yeah, so
And
she
I'm-
can hear what he's thinking about.
I'm choosing to interpret that as the wishy-washy. People think in a wide variety of different ways, and some people think in pictures. And Carl is absolutely the kind of person who thinks in pictures.
I don't think he can read.
He can't. But one of the thoughts is he catches a glimpse of one of a book that Walter shows him, and on it is a piece of torn cloth. A red
What color
piece
is
of torn
cloth?
cloth.
Red?
Blood red, like the reddest red that red could be.
Red cloth.
It looks like a sketch. It looks like someone drew this, and the ink was just kind of applied afterwards. But it looks like a textbook. It looks very old. It also kind of
okay.
looks cobbled together. It looks like Walter maybe have like pieced it together.
Scrapbook King.
Scrapbook
Support
King.
him. I will be happy to let you know, Carl, that me and my associates here, as well as all the people of Alexandria, are desperately looking to exact vengeance on Walter for his crimes on the people, the community. And if you could assist us with any information, you too would be a hero.
I would want to be a hero.
Well, you don't have to be a hero. We don't have to write your name.
Roll persuasion.
Azreen makes the money sign, like with her fingers, like wrapping her fingers together.
13.
I don't know. He seems
I
pretty
mean,
receptive.
he's stupid. Should
I know.
work.
Add money to sweeten the pot, and he'll talk.
Oh, that's true. Azra knows that he actually did this solely for the money, and the money does
Yeah,
seem to be
so
pretty important.
she like tries to get Brookehild or somebody's attention and just rubs her fingers together like the money sign, the
yes.
universal sign for money.
Naturally, your assistants would be provided with proper financial compensation. And she makes
Crispin
this-
kind of like, oh, hey, hold on.
Garrett's like, just let her talk.
Brugel's just like she
He relents.
like
Just go.
because she has a plan for that. I have a plan for everything. I'm a genius. I'm full
big brain
on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm taking notes.
Okay.
Hey.
Many people in Alexandria have lost items due to the theft of the cargo hold that was on the train. And finding Walter may allow us to render these items onto the rightful owners, and who knows what they may be willing to offer in exchange. Indeed, every single piece of information you offer us brings us one step closer to your vengeance.
Right, items on the train. His mind is kind of thinking real quick. Azreen, I'm going to have to ask you to burn another slot.
That's fine.
Okay, which lets him re-roll possibly his save.
I swear
I'm
to
not-
God, if he
Alright.
somehow saves on her, but
He
There's no
literally
fucking
has
way.
to
No
roll
way.
a natural
There's
20.
no way.
There's no way.
He can roll a 19 or an 18, because his proficiency is he's got it, you know.
all right.
But that's still not good odds, and he fails again. Yeah, he's thinking about the items that Walter kind of like mentioned a few things that he was looking for, but it was only vaguely, and it seemed like Walter was like, I don't know if you're an idiot or not, to the point that you might reveal my secret plan, so I'm not going to tell you them. But he did
Yes, he is an idiot enough.
He did catch a few like glimpses of like this book, and Walter did mention like this piece of cloth. There seems to be a few other things as well, but he didn't get a very good glimpse. But it definitely seemed like Walter's had a wish list. It seemed like Walter was going fucking shopping.
And so, I think I've made my case. Brugeld is going to tell him, I've bothered you enough. I'll leave you some time to think about it. Yes, we'll come back tomorrow.
Before you do that, while you're doing all this discussion, Gareth is kind of annoyed because he realizes everything that he has done was basically useless. It's time for one final Hail Mary, baby. Gareth pushes, stands up. He's like, excuse me for a moment. And he turns to the guard. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, where is the washroom in this facility?
Well, it's just going to be back up those stairs, and on the left-hand side, there's the officers' quarters. You're going to ask them to. I don't think you want to go to the prisoners' privy.
Yeah, right, of course. I apologize. It was a long ride, and honestly, if I don't go sooner rather than later, I think my kidneys are going to bust. And he walks away. Please roll insight.
I'm not going to roll insight.
Motherfucker! Gareth's gone.
Azreen reads his mind, and there's only this thought memory of Busta Jane complaining about having to use the bathroom before getting away from the wall of Alexandria. And he just goes, "Ugh." She bought.
Excuse me?
Nothing. Wait, hold on. Have you, perchance, come across certain, have you seen any strange,
Azreen is rubbing her temples.
Brugeld is sweating heavily. Like, she's just like, oh no.
Virgil, please cut him off, but also,
You're not here! You're not here! You're in the bathroom!
I know, I'm in the bathroom.
I'm very sorry.
Kill him.
I'm very sorry, Mr. Slitty Car. We're very busy, and we want to give you some time to think about our offer. Yes. We're gonna have to leave now.
Well, yeah, but, come back soon, cause I can't be held accountable for what happens tomorrow.
Don't say that!
He says, and Crispin kind of looks at him weird. He just goes, I might take on the mining job. Yeah, I might take on the mining job.
Valerie's skin turns
Wait,
significantly
but
less brown.
Can't he, be like, oh, I need to give her the information so then they
No,
can help?
Monty, shut up. You're not here.
So just come back. You know what? Come back as soon as you can. I think there's a lot to chat about.
Oh, are you accepting our offer?
He looks at Crispin, and Crispin kind of like, yeah. He kind of nods and just goes, I'm accepting your offer. I would love to chat more about it. The two of us, the three of us, or four of us, I guess. Probably not more than that. Maybe the five of us.
I'm gonna look at Crispin and the guard and be like, can we arrange something like now, like as soon as possible? I'm gonna make like a time gesture.
Roll persuasion, because
Okay.
it's a tough sell. Ooh.
How's 24?
Ooh. Crispin is like, this is the most we've ever gotten out of him, and kind of turns to this, come on, guard, I'll pay you. Hey, you want a coffee? Hey, let's go get a coffee. And the guard goes, I don't think I should go get a coffee. I think you should get a coffee, he says. And he slips him a few gold pieces. Just goes, yeah, I think I could use a coffee. I could use a coffee. He turns around and walks away for a few minutes.
All right, what's Gareth's escapades to the restroom like?
It's luxurious. There's a few elves on the way there. They're playing harps in the background. They're really taking. The officers area is very clean. It's very well. They are paid well. You can tell that there's a lot of money to be made in privatized prisons, as it turns out. Who would have thought? But yeah, it's unabashedly fancy. Okay, you guys are alone for a second.
I'm going to speedrun explaining the plan to Slitty Carl in the simplest words possible.
Which is, for the DM's benefit, what's the plan?
Okay. The plan is we actually show up. We actually do the whole like defense. No. See,
Here, let go.
Like, Jane is going to. Okay, so my backup plan, basically, if everything goes to hell, is when they take him to the mines. Like, okay, if we go to court, we're like, can you free him? They're probably going to say no. We say, okay, can you send him to the mines so he can do community service? And then when he gets sent off, on the way, Jane can bust, and she's not at the prison, and it's easier to bust a convoy of prisoners than it is to bust a fucking castle of overpaid adamantine-wielding halberd dudes.
Oh, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I don't want her to come and bust. I fucked up big time this time. I don't want her to get wrapped up in it. I made this mistake. I don't want her to come.
Neither do we.
Tell her about Mum. Tell her about Mary. If she knows about that, then she'll know that you talked to me. But I don't want her to come and get more broiled up in this. I really messed up this time.
This is the first actually intelligent thought that you've had all afternoon!
Please, I am a very refined individual.
You're fucking lying to me!
I am very clear-cut in my designs. I am very to the point.
Valerie walks over to Azrain and, like, lightly hugs her and pats her head. And she's like, it's okay.
I'm losing my goddamn mind!
The primary plan is we go to court, we go, hey, can you free him? They go, no. We say, okay, can you make him go to the mines? They'll probably be like, yeah, okay, sure, we'll send him to the mines, whatever, just leave us alone. And then Jane busts the convoy, because it's easier.
Wait, no, wait, so, Nick's all here. I need to tell you something very important.
Thank you!
Also, do tell us about Walter anyways.
Walter, busted Jane, did more, she didn't trust Walter, and she did much more research on him than I did, but I didn't believe her, but now I believe her.
Good to hear.
Okay, so do you want to stay? Do you not want us? Do you not want your sister to get you out?
I mean, I'd love to be out, but I don't want my sister to get caught, and I don't think that she can take out a whole castle. Not alone.
Indeed, but do you think she can take out the carriage, the convoy that will take you to the mines?
Maybe, but then we'll be wanted people in Alexandria. We don't have any money to get out.
How much do you need?
I am going to scream.
Maybe 150 gold.
I can arrange that.
Oh, the two of us would be 300.
Oh,
I can manage that. No worries.
We can.
No,
Indeed.
why don't we? There's still a chance that the information he can give.
No.
Is still good.
All right, like right now, you can make this happen.
do it.
Dwarf.
You'll have to give
He
us the
holds out
information.
his hand and he spits in it. You swear on your father's mothers.
I swear on Edwayne's mother.
You shake?
Shake.
Wow, he believes you. I believe you.
She has the worst fucking face you've ever seen. You didn't think her face could scrunch. She's scrunching up like Kermit.
It's like inside out, but he
see-
believes you.
So, Jane was clearly going to pay us, right?
Well, yeah, she was going to give you whatever she could.
Yeah. So she keeps that money. So that's money she can have.
That's some money.
That's information that we get. So, anyways, now,
What was
But
planning
like-
something big? I don't know what, but he had sigils and books, and I think it's something real nasty. I saw something like it only once before, farther north, back in Spodyevko.
In Spatievko, I see.
Garrett
What are
comes
you
back
looking for
just
in
in
that
time
thing?
for fucking alarm bells to go off in his head.
I don't know what he's planning, but I don't.
Slitty why you were talking about Rieko? Why?
Why? Because
What's-
I saw things on that battlefield back then, and I don't ever want to see them.
Huh? That outburst was real. I don't think Garrett would be able to remain composed after that.
Oh, that's the truth. Listen, I've been around. We went across the ocean to try and get away from old life stuff, but I don't think Walter. I don't know. Buster Jane, she said, he never ate, he never drank, he never slept. I don't think he even had to blink. And Buster Jane, she said something that I didn't trust at the time, but I think he's one of the knights.
That is... changes a lot of things.
Gray.
Yes, sir.
That's the the war or the
Yeah, northern battle near the border between
where I got the
Vashtepel and
fire
Nigra.
squad.
Yeah. Similar. Yeah.
I know what sigil he's talking about.
Maybe.
Yes.
Beyond the assassination of the prince, what did he want? He left with all of the materials at the back of the train.
No,
Certainly there was something he wanted.
I don't think he ever wanted the assassination of the prince. I think he just wanted all the materials. I think I was the distraction.
You absolutely were the distraction.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know what the materials do. I only saw a piece of cloth and crystals. The book was
Piece
magical.
of cloth.
Yeah, red.
Thank you
Gray.
very much for your time, Carl. I will be done.
The sigil with all that shit. Was that also with the items? Is that what he's saying that he saw? Like,
No, Walter. No, there was no sigil. I mean, the book.
So-
he had a magic
what's-
book with him that was full of sigils, but you don't know what they look like, and there's no way to relay that information.
Carl
Right,
wouldn't
but-
remember
but
what a fucking
he-
magic sigil
he-
looks like.
what was the thing that he said he saw in Sovietko?
Walter was like he looked over some of the notes, and he was thinking that some of the sigils looked familiar, but he wouldn't be able to identify any of them. But he said that he's seen some similar stuff in Spatievko.
Yes. Can Garrett take that and knowing what? Because I mean, like he had to be briefed and informed all that.
History.
Can that be on that advantage? Because
No,
I
okay.
was literally there.
No, because he didn't think it was. There's no reason for you to have thought it was too important at the time beyond do job, get out. I don't think.
Oh God, this is
But-
the most important role of the night.
But you
Fuck
can't.
me.
You got us. You got to stop him. I don't know what he's doing, but
Oh come on!
Don't worry, Carl. We are definitely planning on stopping him at all costs.
I don't. I only heard stories about the war. You know, the big one. But something like that, it just isn't natural. Isn't natural. And Buster Jane, I think she was right. I think I should have trusted her judgment. But I think he's one of those. I think he's one of the Lich Knights. And I didn't want to believe it because it spooked me to the bone.
Indeed.
And that's why I don't want Buster Jane involved in any of this, because she can bust. I don't think she can bust that.
I think I speak for all of us here that none of us want her to get involved with this either, Carl, and that is why we are here.
I don't think I know anymore, but that money. And you tell her, she'll believe you if you tell her our mother's name. You tell her about it and tell her that she has got to do this other plan, and you give her a map and the money, and she'll believe you. Anything less than that, she'll scoff in your face.
Okay.
Do we know the mom's name?
Yes, Mary.
Mary.
Okay, good. All right.
But
Those require three.
question, we might still be like, by some whim of fate, we might be able to do it busless, even without doing it busing the caravan. We might still be able to,
Well,
with this
depending
new
on the
knowledge
court.
that we have,
Yeah.
new knowledge that we have, we might be able to get Crispin to alleviate even more.
I don't. Well, it's not alleviate the charges as much as it is just the exchange of information. The charge remains the same, but you give parole because important
Right.
information was given for a much more important
Right.
criminal problem, basically.
Right. A much more criminal. Yes. I think we should go speak with Crispin.
Carl, did Walter tell you anything about where he was going after the heist?
No. I
How
just
did you meet
city.
him?
I don't. Well, it's a funny story, really. It's Azarine.
Hmm?
You can't read his thoughts for a second. He's trying. He's like, oh, let me tell you about the story of how I met Walter. And his thoughts are kind of just blank. He just keeps drawing blanks over and over again. I don't. No, it was. It was at a dinner table, a bar. No, it was.
Magical coercion. We got that. Another thing
Mhm.
for us. Okay. Magical coercion.
That's not coercion. That's
No, I mean, like,
no,
I
that's
mean,
just erasing
what-
someone's memories. That's not coercion.
right, but that is, as Crispin has said, that is indicative of coercion.
Yeah, but I don't think he wasn't coerced. He was paid.
Azreen looks like she's very confused, and she's like looking around, and then she's like looking at Carl. There. I'm sorry, but you're too stupid to not have thoughts right now.
Well, you know, I mean, I'm having trouble remembering. I just can't really remember.
But Carl, don't worry. It's. I think we got what we needed.
Yeah, I
Alright.
think we're done.
Let's go speak with Crispin.
That was a very long coffee break.
Yeah.
Crispin actually just like followed him and killed him.
Well, it's true. No, I mean, all this is only about 2 or 3 minutes.
Right.
Yeah,
It's-
right.
But yeah, you
That's like
guys
a
depart,
straight
and you're gonna regroup with Crispin. I do think we have to stop for the time being. Then. You guys have a lot of stuff on your plates, and you can digest the information as you will. And then next time we play, we will pick up, and we will see where we want to take it. If anybody has any notes they want to write down now, or any questions they wanted to ask while
we
the
are
iron is hot,
Still, like, I still think.
because I might not
like-
remember next session what you
Right.
might need.
I think with this sort of level of knowledge and like the nature of Walter that we can provide with Crispin, and the fact that he's might have been magically coerced as he has these blank spots of his memory, I
Uh-huh.
think we could get him to parole.
Maybe.
So then we don't have to do the bus caravan, and
Yeah,
then
but see,
Rukil doesn't
this-
have to lose 300 gold.
I wasn't gonna lose 300 gold. Who do you think I am?
Rukil's got backup plans to backup plans.
First of
I
all,
don't
Rindy-
care, I
yeah.
Cover it.
Rindy is my backup plan for if I can't get the gold in the way I want, and that is, I have very important information that very important people are gonna want to hear about.
That is true. All right, but we'll find out next time what the result of all this is. As long as everybody else is all set, we are going to depart. Farewell.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.